Hello, welcome back to Drunk Storytime with Quefish. The Quefish. It's backwards. Fuck you, drink. And this is the last of the bottle. So, I feel like one of those like DJs or something like that at a wedding. Let's slow things down a little bit, something along those lines. But we're gonna go a little bit old school. This is one from much earlier this year, and I'm reminded of it whenever I write, because there are things in this story that I do but not like this. So this is from IneffableAlien. And these are a few of my least favorite things. What not to write, and then some. Now, I apologize ahead of time because some of these are spelling errors, and those don't really translate well when speaking. But I might actually point them out anyway. So, the notes for this are several hours ago and many months in a Facebook group for AO3 Ineffable Husbands Writers, of which I am a part of. Someone started an innocuous conversation posing the question, do you have any pet peeves in fics? Which of course we all do. And because Alien is a terrible person, they immediately incorporated as many of those things as I could into one story. You're welcome. Oh my God. If at any point in time, and obviously I'm gonna, leave the link, like I do, but if at any point in time you want to know exactly how wrong all of this is, hit me up. I am more than happy to point out, to red pen all over this if you don't understand how bad this is. Crowley pulled up in the Bentley and put it in park. In his haste, he had actually managed to drive up over a portion of the curb. Bloody sidewalk, he cursed under his breath as he practically tripped up the steps to the bookshop. Azzy! He called, flinging the door open and bursting inside. Aziraphale jumped where he stood in front of the microwave. Startled. Ever since Armageddon didn't happen to look at this clever name the author came up with for it, he and Crowley had been spending more and more time together. So naturally, some modern technology was making its way into the shop due to Crowley's influence. Not a microwave. Crumpets, Aziraphale grumbled, which was as close as the gentle principality generally came to swearing. Crowley, you nearly made me drop my cuppa. Sorry, Angel, Crowley hissed, wrapping his strong arms around Aziraphale's waist and kissing the top of his head. I just couldn't wait to see you. Aziraphale couldn't help but smile. No harm done, my dear boy, he said. I couldn't get the blasted thing to work anyway, he added, gesturing at the microwave. I was just about to use a miracle when you came in. Don't waste a miracle on tea, said Crowley, setting his sunglasses on the counter. Oh, actually, said Aziraphale, we're out of tea. I was just warming up a Starbucks medium roast I made with the Keurig this morning. Coffee, tea, what's the difference? Crowley snarked, pulling Aziraphale by his forearms out of the kitchen. He grinned. Come to the couch with me for something stronger. Aziraphale allowed himself to be pulled along without argument. How could he say no to the Studley demon? After all, Aziraphale didn't have to say no anymore these days. He could finally relax and retire into his true, self-effacing, if a tad skittish at times, demeanor. And here's another semicolon, just because. There's a lot of semicolons in that one. As they cuddled together on the couch, Crowley snapped his fingers and summoned 2 frosty bottles of clear liquid and popped off the caps. What are those? Asked Aziraphale, his chubby pink face the picture of innocence. Well, said Crowley, grinning devilishly, it's Zima. But I couldn't help myself. Look at the label. He handed one of the bottles to Aziraphale. Aziraphale chuckled with delight. It says Zira. Yep, said Crowley, popping the pea and nuzzling Aziraphale's curls. Anything for my Zira. Aziraphale looked puzzled. Did you forget a comma just now? What? Asked Crowley. Nothing, dear. I must be imagining things. I'll tell you what I definitely didn't forget. Crowley growled softly, kissing the shell of Aziraphale's ear and nipping along his jaw. I didn't forget to make an effort. Oh, Crowley, Aziraphale sighed in pleasure. You know, I've never. It's okay, baby. No, God. All the things, and that's the one that breaks me. Oh my God, no. It's okay, baby, Crowley whispered, nudging Aziraphale's nose with his. Just let me teach you. He slithered one pale hand across Aziraphale's chest, feeling the way Aziraphale's heart pounded beneath his fingertips, which, for some reason, had sharp nails painted black, even though that's not in the show or the book, so nobody knows where it came from. But it's in every other fic and fan art, and also this seemed like a good place to put a run-on sentence. Crowley, Aziraphale begged, please don't tease me. Of course not, Azzy, Crowley said indulgently, performing multiple minor Of course not, Azzy, Crowley said indulgently, performing multiple minor miracles at once. This is the part in the fic where we just miracle half our clothes off. That's one of the great things about this ship. He paused. We're also never going to mention what we did with those bottles, or any type of blocking again. Crowley pushed Aziraphale against the back of the couch. But I had to leave some clothes on to take off the human way, he said wickedly. It's too much like unwrapping a perfect present. Crowley kneeled between Aziraphale's legs and started to tug Aziraphale's pants down over his hips. Wait, said Aziraphale. Stopping Crowley for a moment. Which pants are we on now? British or American? Crowley froze. That's a good question, isn't it? He mused. Oh, bugger this, he decided, miracling the rest of their clothes away with a flick of his hand. Crowley gazed upon the gorgeous Crowley gazed upon the gorgeous, throbbing love muscle before him. Zira, he said cheekily. If I didn't know any better, I'd think you'd made one of these before. Never, Aziraphale moaned. I always waited for you, my dear. Aziraphale carded his fingers through the redhead's crimson locks. Crowley looked up. Carded? No, it's fine, said Aziraphale. I checked a thesaurus. That's mine. I hope all these fourth wall jokes aren't getting old, thought the narrator. Well, she thought upon further reflection, at least I lampshaded it. Crowley held Aziraphale's peen in one hand and examined it, arching his eyebrows archingly. He snaked his forked tongue up the underside of that magnificent angelic anaconda, stopping at the tip to wrap his tongue around its meaty mushroom helmet. Aziraphale cried out as Crowley took the whole of Aziraphale cried out as Crowley took the whole of his throat spackler down to his tonsils. Yes, good Lord, Crowley, Aziraphale panted. That's better than crepes. Ugh, was all Crowley could say, choking as he was on delicious man sausage. Aziraphale bucked against his lover's lush mouth and flooded it with seed. Oh, Crow! He shouted, in defiance of the disapproving heavens. Crowley popped off Aziraphale's leaking manhood and peered up at him adoringly, tawny amber or possibly egg yolk-colored eyes appearing, I don't know, I'm out of adjectives, as he breathed dreamily against Aziraphale's thighs, which were thick AF, incidentally. I love you so much. And I you, my darling demon. Aziraphale spoke it like a prayer. And I you. Jesus upscotching Christ. I actually have not read it for a while. I just remember specifically the thesaurus one. And I specifically remember that one because in the conversation, somebody brought that one up. And I was like, I used to be on your side. Until I looked it up and I found out that carded really is a synonym for like combing through hair. And so that's where that one specifically came from. I checked a thesaurus. Now, some of the critics' reviews. I can't believe you were so ballsy as to say no archive warnings apply, because if anything should be warned about, it's this. This story is your M25. Peen, haha. My God. So good. So, thank you for joining me for this amazing bit of crack.